Not a secret. Not all life insurance is the same. Let's talk about it. Thanks for sticking around. Let me talk to you for just a minute. Just have a real honest conversation. Something happened to you tomorrow. Would your family know exactly how your final expenses are getting paid for? Would they be trying to figure it out while they're already grieving your loss? This isn't a fun topic. Nobody wakes up excited to talk about funerals or life insurance. But I've learned something after helping a lot of families. The families who plan ahead suffer less when the time comes. Today, I want to walk you through the difference between term insurance and whole life insurance, and why for final expenses, whole life just makes more sense. Final expenses aren't about leaving a big inheritance. They're about taking care of the basic needs at that time of death. It covers funeral or cremation costs, burial costs, medical bills, outstanding balances that you may have forgot about or your family didn't know about, and travel costs to get your family there for the funeral. And the part most people don't realize until it's too late, a funeral today can easily cost $10,000 or more. When families don't plan, I see the same things over and over. Adult kids pulling out credit cards, family members arguing about money, GoFundMe pages, people choosing cheaper options they know their loved one wouldn't have wanted. All this happens during one of the hardest moments of their lives at the loss of a loved one. Final insurance isn't about the inheritance, it's about removing that burden from your family. So we're going to start with a conversation about term insurance because a lot of people already have it or have had it at some point. Term insurance sounds really good on paper. It's cheaper up front. You pick a term, 10, 15, maybe 20 years, as long as you still qualify for it. If you pass away during that time, it pays out. But here's the thing. People don't always think through. Term insurance is temporary. It's designed to cover you during your working years. It helps to cover your mortgage, anything your kids need, income replacement. It was never designed for final expenses. The problem with term is most people don't pass away during that term. They outlive it. And when that term ends, one of the things that happens is the premium skyrockets. You can't qualify for new coverage because of health or age, or you lose it and it pays nothing. Now you're older, you're living on a fixed income and trying to solve a problem that could have been handled years ago. I have people tell me, I had a term policy for 20 years. Now I don't have anything. That's not a failure on their part. That's a design issue with term insurance. This is where whole life insurance really shines for this issue. Whole life is simple and it's boring in a good way. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. First, it lasts your entire life. As long as you pay the premium, policy never expires. It doesn't matter if you live to 48 or 98. Second, payment never changes. What you would pay today is what you'll pay for the rest of your life. No increases, no surprises. That matters a lot when you're on Social Security or retirement income. It's built to pay out. This policy is designed for the moment your family actually needs it. Not if something happens during a certain window, but when it happens. That's what final expense planning is all about. My favorite part about all of this is that whole life insurance gives that peace of mind. It lets you say, my family's not going to have to guess. My kids won't have to argue. My spouse won't have to stress. Everything's taken care of. I've sat across from families who have said, this is exactly what mom would have wanted. I've also sat with families who said, I wish I'd talked to you a little sooner. Many whole life policies also build a cash value over time. You don't buy it for that. That's not the reason you get whole life. But it's a nice little benefit. It's nice to know it's there. It grows slowly and safely. And if you ever need it, for an emergency, medical costs, unexpected expenses, you can access it. Term insurance? Once you pay for it, that money's gone forever. People ask me all the time, hey, isn't whole life more expensive? Yes, monthly it usually costs more than term. But here's the better question. Which one actually does the job? A cheaper policy that expires before it's needed costs more in the long run because it pays nothing. You could pay on it for 20 years, outlive it, and have no benefit left to it. Whole life is more about certainty. Final expense planning is not about insurance. It's about love, it's about responsibility, it's about making things easier for the people you care about most. If you already have a policy and haven't looked at it in years, or if you're not sure whether it's term or whole life, let's review it.